everybody, welcome. What's the time? Nearly 4:30 on Monday the 15th of December. Welcome to the studio. Actually, I'm in the middle of doing some tankards. I was down at our local farmers market on Saturday. I took down some pots down there. I took down my little Shimpo Aspire wheel there, which I'm pointing at. So that was very easy wheel to transport around, you know. And I made a dozen or so tankards down there while I was like talking with people, and so I'm just here now. I'm putting on some handles on those. So let's just put on a handle together, shall we? Now these tankards, I put a line just here because I thought it would improve it. So where the wire, where it makes this spiral here, where it meets on the side here, where the spiral comes together, that's usually where I put the handle, you see. So just going to scratch with my fingernail like that. We don't need to scratch the lower attachment point, all right? Are we in the picture there? Yeah. So I've got some handles I pulled here an hour or so ago. Just going to take one of those, and you need to blunten the end of it, or you need to make the point of attachment a wider. This is a really good tip if you're wanting to pull handles and attach them, then that really does help to have that wider there. Okay, so I'm going to attach it here. Using my fingers and thumbs here to smooth the soft clay into the body of the pot. Let it hang. Always keep it supported, all right, as you do this. I know you've seen me pull handles a million times, but this one's going to be very slightly different. I don't know if the lighting is all that good in here at the minute, but okay, so I'm pulling down from the pot like this, and then I'm going to take my thumbnail and score all the way down the handle in two places, which creates a kind of spine down the center of the handle, you see. Okay, now taking it by the end here, supporting it, let the handle fall like that. You know, want to make sure that there is enough room there for your fingers when you do this. Make sure the handle is straight as well. A little tidying up at the top there, a little bit down here. Right, now we're ready to do the point of attachment here at the bottom. So just dry your fingers a little bit, but not too much. Smooth that clay away like that, and like that. Now this one's got a little tail, but so I'm actually going to do something with that tail. I'm going to make a little make a little scroll, you see. So the tail that's left, the tail that's left there, all right, that little piece, I'm just going to wet it and just pull it a little bit, because I want to make that into a little scroll. So now this is not easy, it's a bit of a fiddle, but my aim is to roll that up, you see. Dee 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 dee, roly poly. See, he's coming. Oh, excuse me a minute. I'm just in the middle of a clip at the minute. Could you call me back? Okay, bye. So that little scroll, you see, we got to roll him up and tuck him. The challenge is to do it, and to do it in such a way that it looks neat, you see. Now under the bottom part here, I'm going to take the soft clay of the scroll and just draw it across like that, you see. I'll be honest with you, sometimes these, depending on how good I am with my fingers, sometimes these work better, some than others, better with some than others. Alright, so there's the scroll on the bottom, but we need, with this now we're going to put a thumb rest there on the top as well. Ha ha ha. So what I'm going to do is, what you want is just a piece of just take a piece of soft clay like that, okay? Just put it in the palm of your hand and roll it with your finger, you see, like that, till you get a little ball. And then what you want to do is, see if I can do it here to show you. To make a thumb rest is actually fairly easy. So there's your little ball of clay. Wet your finger, wet your index finger, you see, and then just, we're going to push it and then pull away, you see, like this. You see that? Okay. Now you're going to lift up that, like that. And that on my finger there is what's going to be the thumb rest. So I just lick it and then I take it and stick it right there on the top of the handle, you see. So you just want to then the piece of clay I made that thumb rest out of was nice and wet. It was one of the pieces from a handle. So I'm joining wet to wet, you see. And as you know, when you join wet to wet, you get the best join that you can possibly have. That won't come off. Alright folks, there you see the finished tankard now. All it remains for me to do is put my seal on it, which I shall probably put right there on the bottom. Sometimes the scroll gets a little bit lopsided, just have to manipulate it as you want it, okay? So things to note here: distance for the handle from the body. You just want it to be enough, but not too much, otherwise it looks silly, doesn't it, with a handle sticking right out. And there you've seen me put on a scroll on the bottom, a thumb rest on the top. Now, in fact, remember I showed you just recently, didn't I? Some of these are going to have a stamp on them from, like I showed you the other day. In fact, I've done one. I'll show it to you. Probably in the next clip, maybe I'll show you actually putting this on. This is one of the steins for the weaver's store, and there you can see it's got, if you can see that, I've impressed, you see, into the soft pad of clay using that stamp, and that's quite a nice way, I think, of doing it. You get a sort of a seal emblem on the front there. This particular tankard, you'll notice, doesn't have the scroll or the thumb rest, but yeah, I just decided just to put some scrolls and thumb rests on just for the fun of it, because I haven't done any for ages like that. So that's going to go there on the board, and was trying to find my rounder to round them. You know my rounder? You haven't seen my rounder, have you? Yeah, that's that thing I stick inside to round them, to make them. Actually, what we should do one day is we'll make a rounder. I'll show you how to make a rounder, because you all ought to have a rounder. You can either make one yourself or you can use something that's sort of like got a bit of a taper to it, you see, something that's round that's got a bit of a taper. I've just seen this over there out of the corner of my eye. I don't know if this will, but you see that, how that is sort of like it's got a taper. Now I don't know if that'll fit. Yeah, it will. How about that? You see, you can use that as just by pushing it in. So you want something with a very gradual taper like that, and you can use that to go down your board of pots. But you must make sure that when you do this, that they're not dry at all. They've got to be still in the leather hard state. Because if they get too dry and you force that down in there like that, you know what'll happen? It'll crack. It'll form a crack in the side. So always make sure before you do that you've where's my spray bottle? Yeah, it's a good idea, you see, just if you're in doubt, I like to keep things fairly, so I have some of this nice soft, or thin I should say, plastic, which I will put over these, you see. In any case, you want to cover your pots with plastic like this after you put handles on, just to let the moisture content of the handle and the pot to help it equalize out, you see. That's a good tip, because if you don't do that, you may get, when they dry, where the handle joins the mug or whatever pot it is, you may get cracking occurring, and that always occurs when you have too much of a difference between the humidity level of the handle compared to the actual pot. So by doing this with plastic, after you put a handle on, that'll help to equalize out the moisture levels and avoid cracking. It's all very technical, you see. Not really, but Anyway, thanks for joining us, folks. That's all I'm going to do right now. So putting a handle on, putting a scroll on the bottom, putting a thumb rest on the top, and we'll go on and I'll show you how to do this. And it's very easy to make up a, I was fortunate. I mean, Don had a machine to do this for me. I was going to have done it by hand otherwise, and I wouldn't have done, in all honesty, of course, such a good, precise job. And therein lies the question: do you want it to be absolutely precise? Maybe a little bit of the evidence of the hand at work, you know, is not always a bad thing. But anyway, but you can actually make these kind of stamps. Of course, you've got to carve them in reverse, and then what you do is you bisque fire them, and then you can use them again and again and again. So anyway, thanks for joining us, folks. I wish you all a very happy Christmas and New Year, and thank you for your support. Thank you for all your comments and writing, and yeah, the plan is just to carry on. I've got to get the kiln fired, as I keep telling you. In fact, I'll be doing some of that a bit later, hopefully. So visit my website, leachpottery.com. We have tools there, and we will have. They won't be really before Christmas, unfortunately. Just didn't get the timing right, but there will be some pots there, new pots coming up very soon. So stay tuned, and don't forget, keep practicing. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye. Where's the button to turn this thing? Oh, there it is. Bye.